All right, everybody, welcome out to the Log Room Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, June the 11th, 2024. Jersey Johnny coming at you. With me, as always, is none other than Mr. Beer Samurai. Say hello, Mr. Samurai.
Thank you, sir. And you know what June 11th means.
What does June 11th mean?
It's Pizza Margarita Day.
Happy Pizza Margarita Day. And happy dinner today, apparently.
Yeah. You know, there's a lot of stories about how Pizza Margarita came about. They think it was named after Queen Margarita.
Okay.
I'm not making this up. This guy, Esposito, had made it. And it's funny because, you know, we'll talk a lot of times about how pizza was invented in the U.S. Right. Pizza Margarita was invented in Italy, though. There's no doubt about that. There's conflicting stories, but this was basically pizza. It looked a little different.
Right. Well, I mean, pizza was what became pizza was invented in Italy.
Yeah.
Just the version of pizza we eat here was, you know, it became what it is now here. But the whole idea for it started, you know.
But the Pizza Margarita is mostly unchanged. The crust is changed, of course.
Sure.
And it was meant to represent the Italian flag, right? The red sauce, the basil, and the mozzarella.
Of course.
Right, there's the three colors. Out of order. Sorry, Italy. But still basically.
I'm not upset.
You should be half upset.
I'm half upset. I'm not half upset.
You're not half upset, but still half angry because German.
That's just daily. I mean,
there was a Conan O'Brien was asking a German comedian once. It's like, are you upset that bad guys always tend to be German? He goes, no, not at all. Have you ever Wikipedia German history? It's like, wow.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah, coming from a German comic, so it's like,
yeah. So it's allowed then. He said
that's
it. Right?
It's funny. Anyway, but June 11th is another big day in the 50th state.
In the 50th state, and that is
Kamehameha Day.
Happy Kamehameha Day.
Now, Kamehameha Day was Kamehameha the Fifth.
Mm-hmm.
Set this date down to honor his father, King Kamehameha the Great, King Kamehameha the First.
Right.
And he's the king who united all the Hawaiian Islands into one kingdom.
Gotcha. Was there any relation to Princess Kamanawa?
No, I don't think so. I think Tom has met her in Tijuana.
I believe so.
I think he has.
All right.
But and so today the Hawaiians are probably still celebrating right now with floral floats.
Well, yeah, because I mean it's only like noon or like 1 o'clock out there.
It's only about 1 o'clock,
1:42,
whatever. And and they throw lays up on all the statues of Kamehameha around the island.
Right.
In fact, and that's why John and I are festooned in our Hawaiian shirts today.
Absolutely, we had to wear it today.
Yeah, I'm actually wearing one that is the Kamehameha brand. Now, this was not the king did not start this brand. It started in his honor. Started in 1936, actually.
What is my brand? It's not Kamehameha.
Okay. Yeah. I wouldn't think so.
No,
those colors didn't exist in 36.
Not so much.
Well, they existed, just not.
Well, they existed, just not in fabric, right? Exactly. So anyway,
but we've got a repeat guest tonight, don't we?
We do. We have a repeat guest tonight. Let's bring her on now, shall we?
Should we introduce her speaking like a whale?
Why don't you? And you know why we're speaking like a whale, right?
Well, because
Happy National Speak Like a Whale Day
in honor of Dory. No, I am not.
In honor of Dory.
Speak like a whale.
Okay. No, we're not going to introduce her like that. We're going to introduce her like this. Please welcome to the show. Thank you so much, Katherine Reyes, for coming on. Thank you, Kat, for coming on with us tonight.
Meowdy, everyone.
All right, Katherine Reyes from Worldwide Beer Fest. We're going to hear more about this year's Worldwide Beer Fest. If you're a habitual listener to us, or putting up with us, as we say, then you've seen Kat on the show before. She talked about Worldwide Beer Fest. We want to know all about this year's Worldwide Beer Fest, but we do want to open beers first. Kat, you're already drinking, so why don't you tell us what you're drinking already?
Having a Buzztail Hefeweizen, World Beer Cup 2016 Gold Award winner.
Oh, nice.
American Wheat Beer and Great American Beer Festival 2017 Gold. Sun River is from Bend, Oregon.
Yes.
Very nice.
I've had some Sun River. That really, yeah. I haven't had that hef though. How is it?
Delicious.
He's an award winner, John.
Of course. No, I'm sure. I don't want to catch it.
You got some wind going, Kat.
I thought that was your mic.
No. That's off on the that's off on the left coast.
That's over on the left coast. That wind.
So I'm drinking a Kolsch, and I'm drinking it out of a Stanga.
Ooh.
Icarus's Lagerfest 3 Stanga.
That looks refreshing.
Doing it right. Really good. There's still a little bit left in this. And this is the Von Trapp Kolsch.
Mm-hmm.
You see it right there.
Yummy.
Very nice.
I'm gonna tell you, this is washing the pizza down quite low.
I had that in a Stanga, in a Von Trapp Stanga at the brewery in Stowe about 5 weeks ago. I was up there. Yeah, about 5.
Very nice. And I'm pretty certain this can came from that brewery.
Yes. I mean, one way or the other, that can came from.
Well,
that
yeah,
brewery.
but was it purchased at the brewery, John, when you brought it down?
It was purchased at the brewery. Yes.
Oh, and thank you for that.
You are very welcome.
That was nice and crisp.
I am also drinking a Kolsch. This Kolsch is called Sundeck Flex, and it's from our buddies Jim and Matt up at 2 Ton Brewing.
I love those guys.
Up in beautiful Kenilworth, New Jersey, just up the turnpike.
Yeah, beautiful Kenilworth.
Just up the turnpike from us, and just up the turnpike from Paragon. Tasty beer. So cheers, everyone.
Yep.
And Dave, look what glass it's in.
It is in a Two Rivers glass.
Two Rivers glass.
Again.
There you go. So I figured I'd use it tonight without a dark beer so you can actually see what it said on it. So.
Yeah. Well, aloha.
Aloha. There you go. So, Kat, how have you been?
I've been doing well. I told myself 2024 was going to be mine. Everyone says that, but trying to actually make that happen is another story.
100%. You do it every day, and no matter what happens, it's still yours, right?
Right.
I'm trying.
Exactly.
Did a lot of interesting travel. I got invited to steward the Best of Craft Beer Awards.
Mm-hmm.
And
I saw you went out there. That was great. How was that?
That was interesting. It was
Was it?
interesting. Yeah.
In a word.
It's always interesting in Bend, especially when there's alcohol involved.
It's interesting anywhere where there's alcohol involved, but
Yeah.
especially there.
Well, it was funny because it was like kind of a repeat of that, a similar experience I'd had previous years where there was some kind of misunderstanding fueled by alcohol. But I was actually stewarding. So during this event, not only are the judges drinking, but the people back pouring the beer are drinking. The organizers are drinking. There's virtually no sober people in this scenario. But I was
in there.
I was sober, because
you weren't drinking as much as they were drinking. So
I was actually not at all.
You weren't.
Nope.
Interesting.
Oh, wow.
No.
I don't know if I could have that self-control.
Well, what happens at the end is every brewery is required to send in 3 samples. So they have, like, say, for example, if you send in a beer, you need to send in 2 more, at least 3 cans. So there will be 1 can poured, and then if for whatever reasons the judges need another taste, they'll open another. But you know what happens?
For whatever reason.
Yeah, I didn't get all the notes out of this one.
I need a little bit more just to be sure.
Keep going. No, not 2 fingers, 2 fingers.
There you go.
This judging is a really hard job. I think some of these guys have iron livers because it's like 9 o'clock in the morning, and say if there's 1 round, it's stouts. They have to drink 10, 12 stout samples. So they're it's intense, and I'm kind of glad I didn't have that job,
Been there, done that. It's brutal. Speaking of iron livers, John, we'll have a comment.
We do. Gene Lynch says, "Did you start at 7:10 p.m. asking for a friend?" I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's
7:35.
I'm not sure if that's a cleverly cloaked insult or not. We started late tonight because we have a left coast guest on, Gene.
who had very, very low battery power on her phone,
and she needed to charge and so forth and so on. So there you go.
So Gene,
is that all right with you, Gene?
When I'm not blaming John, you know it's the truth.
Exactly. But thank you for commenting, Gene.
Yes.
All right. Anyway,
Iron Liver Gene.
Iron Liver Gene. Yes, that's his new name, Iron Liver Gene. So there we go. Kat, let's before we talk about Worldwide Beer Fest, did you go down to Vegas in April?
I did not go to CBC.
You did not go. Okay. I thought I remember you saying you might be going, so I just want to ask if you were going.
That was kind of an interesting experience. I initially applied as media, and I had also applied to the California Craft Brewers Conference, and I kind of got the two mixed up. And so when I initially applied to CBC, I kind of gave them the pitch for the California Craft Brewers Conference.
Right.
So initially they said yes, and then they said no. And then I thought, it was kind of strange. And then I messaged him. I said, before I made my travel plans, I said, hey, I just want to confirm. I'm a little confused about whether I'm, been accepted as media.
Sure.
And they're like, well, why don't you apply again? And I thought, I'd already decided, that I was going to the Boonville Brew Fest. Mm-hmm. That's right after CBC. Maybe not as a big industry event like CBC, but that's actually on my birthday. So
there you go. Nice. And by the way, happy belated birthday.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hey, cheers. When's your birthday?
Dave and my our birthdays are actually 11 days apart.
In April.
In April.
Fun. Mm-hmm. What did you do this year?
I had beer.
Actually,
Dave went to Europe and I went to New England.
I was on trains from Munich to Prague pretty much the whole day.
We actually did we did the show. Dave was live from a brewery in Munich.
Yep.
And I remember that.
And when we started the show late and we started the show early because it was late there.
Yep.
And we were actually going, it was still midnight in Germany. It became midnight in Germany when we were still doing the show. So we got to say happy birthday to Dave on the show on his birthday. But then the next morning he left and took trains to the Czech Republic.
Found a really cool craft beer bar there called Beer Nerd Bar, I believe it's called. Beer Geek Bar. Beer Geek Bar, yes. Beer Geek Bar. If you ever go to Prague, you've got to find Beer Geek Bar. You will find Coastal Brew Works and the Beer Samurai stickers on their cooler.
There's a number of other U.S.
friends of ours, as a matter of fact. Spider Bite Brewing was on there. Jason's birthday was just a couple of days ago. Jason Goldstein, not Jason. Larry Goldstein.
Larry Goldstein.
This is Jason Goldstein.
That's Jason Goldstein.
Icarus Brewing. Larry Goldstein, happy birthday. It was a couple of days ago. His sticker is up there. Carton sticker is up there. Kane sticker is up there.
We're in good company.
There was a bunch up there from New Jersey and breweries that we know, so it was really cool.
It was cool. And by the way, Gene said, that seems acceptable.
Thank you, Gene.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you
so much.
Anyway, myself, we went up to Vermont, actually, for and I guess Kat doesn't like Vermont.
One mention of Vermont. That's it. Tapping out.
Vermont, I'm out of here. Well,
I wonder if that was a battery thing. Maybe she didn't charge enough as...
Maybe it was a battery thing, or maybe you just dropped the signal, too. It is windy out there.
Yes.
Well, we'll find out if she's back in a minute. We'll know. If she's not, it was her battery. Or we'll find out later that she actually really doesn't like Vermont.
Yeah, that's possible.
So I'll hold the rest of my Vermont story until she comes back on. We'll just banter back and forth. Actually, let's talk about Gene for a second while we're waiting. We are happy that you're accepting that, Gene. So.
I've got this. This is my second beer.
Your second beer. Let's put that up. Kat doesn't need to know. We can mention
Drownlands Sow and Gather.
I didn't. This
is a food aged IPA.
All right, hold on.
These guys do some really good stuff. I like Drownlands a lot.
There we go. There it is. Sow and Gather.
And Tom wants to Banner.
Tom wants to what?
Banner. Oh, there we go. He fixed it. Let's banter. Well, that's appropriate considering he works for Banter Brewing. So
exactly. Hi, Kat. How are you?
Sorry about that. My phone died. No, my laptop.
We were trying to figure out whether it was your phone battery that went, or if my mention of Vermont just had you say, forget it.
No.
I'm out of here.
I don't like Vermont. I'm out of here. No.
I'd love to go to Vermont.
Hey, Vermont's beautiful. I love it up there. So we went up to continue what I was saying. Went up to Vermont for like 4 days around my birthday. And on my birthday, we actually left Burlington, Vermont, and drove about an hour and 45 minutes east to Littleton, New Hampshire. And I sat for half the afternoon, more than half the afternoon, at Schilling Beer Company.
Probably my favorite brewery in the country. It's really hard to. I think they're definitely my favorite.
They make amazing beer, and they'll be on the show in 4 weeks. Did we say
less than a month?
4 weeks.
Less than a month. Let's say less than a month.
Less than a month.
I'm so excited for that show.
Here we go. The Whiskey Whisperer had said, "Let's banter," and then he fixed it. It's "Let's banter." There we go. Yes. So, yes, that would be coming from Matt. That would tell me that I'd expect the R to T, but
that just might mean that Tom's been working a lot tonight.
It could be, or he just typed really quick and just misspelled, and
which we do all the time.
So, yes, let's banter, Tom, please. Anything you have to say, please bring it on up, as always. Dave is drinking, Kat. He poured his second beer there. He's drinking a Sow and Gather by Drownlands Brewing in Warwick, New York.
It's in Warwick, New York. This is a foeder-aged IPA.
Mm-hmm.
That's the color, too. That's actually an accurate depiction of the color.
Yummy.
Obviously a hazy.
Oh, foeder is a wood barrel, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. And it's funny because a lot of people associate foeders with sours, because it's mostly what you find them used for. But Drownlands uses foeders to age in, but not sour in. They do sour in foeders, don't get me wrong, but a lot of their beers, they'll foeder age to get that wood character into the beer. So it's not necessarily sour.
This is correct. There's Trace Brewing out in Pittsburgh, which you definitely have to go to, and you're there.
I will be there.
They do a foeder-aged Schwartz beer, and it is phenomenal. It's so good. But
I'm so looking forward to that.
This
is really good.
So anyway, Kat, tell us about how this year's Worldwide Beer Fest went. Tell us all about it. Did she freeze again? Oh, there you are.
Looks like she's frozen a little bit.
I'm sorry.
There you go. Are you back?
I think so.
Okay. There you go. Tell us about this year's Worldwide Beer Fest. It was a few months ago. It was after you had been on the show. How did everything go with this year's online beer fest?
So
Britt, give everybody a refresher for a sentence or two of what it was, and then go into what it was.
Yeah. So National Beer Day, it's kind of like a national holiday that it's just like any other day that's been recognized. Mm-hmm. And I just had noticed that no one was really celebrating that. And, when I've been trying to kind of figure out some ways to kind of engage the beer community. And so National Beer Day was a way to do that, just kind of celebrate beer, something everyone could get behind. Mm-hmm. And so basically what we did was we streamed a live DJ set from another brewery, and we had a homebrew club come down, and we live streamed that whole thing. So nice. That was National Beer Day. So Worldwide Beer Fest is the name of the company, and the events that we're doing are kind of a mix of in-person and online streaming. And but what was great was before I got cut off and was when we were talking about CBC. So when I went down to the Boonville Brew Fest this year, which was on my birthday, I actually streamed for like an hour and a half. And that's something that I always really would love to see. So
Right.
I wanted, I just went ahead and did it, and it was pretty fun. I think it could have been a little bit better, like if I had gone to the breweries, and had little conversations. But I feel like that's something that can be done in the future. So rather than organizing, new events, what I envision is kind of taking these events like, GABF, for example. They announced that they're doing smaller sessions this year. When they first announced that they were doing GABF, they were actually giving away free booths. So they're
Yep.
announcing, hey, we're
Oh, cool.
here because they're getting smaller, more expensive. There are less breweries that want to go. So you're seeing the beer's festivals, they're getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And they're almost, a lot of them are just going away completely, right? And I don't think they have to go away completely. I think that
Right.
they can,
Live
still,
on in somehow, some form.
Yeah.
Part of it.
Yep.
absolutely. So that's what we're just trying to get people to do. And so it was super fun streaming the Boonville Brewfest. I just streamed until my phone went dead. And there was a wandering brass band called the Firkin Peddlers, and they're very ragtag horn group. I didn't know they were going to be there. I guess their slogan is the more you drink, the better we sound.
I've heard that before.
Quite true.
But yeah, so it was just had this really cool moment during the festival, and it was raining, of course, so there was less people at the Boonville Brewfest. So Boonville Brewfest got started in '98. Boonville Brewery, I think, was founded in '88, and then 10 years later, they started having the Boonville Brewfest. I guess people got the blues in the springtime. Things just weren't happening, so they had a festival, and I think it's a great idea because it's still not quite the summer festival season, but it's just like you go to that thing, and I mean, you're camping, everyone's camping, you're in it, you're in this, like, it's just not like going to a regular beer festival where you're camping out, there's bonfires, you're making friends, you're making memories. It's just like a real experience.
Sure.
Very cool.
And I'm a fan. I can see why it's still going strong after 30 years. You're not going to see the Boonville Brewfest going anywhere for a while.
That's great. That's great to hear. That's awesome. Love it.
Yeah.
There's some beer fests that have gone by the wayside. Like, I mean, I used to, used to love going up to the American Craft Beer Festival. Okay. And that was up in Boston.
Yeah.
And that was a joint effort that was promoted by Harpoon and Beer Advocate. And I think Sam Adams was involved in it too.
Sam Adams got involved with it, but they got more involved in the other one.
Sam Adams, they got more involved in EBF.
Yeah.
But that was a great beer fest. That was the first weekend in June every year. And that went on for years, and that was a pretty cool festival. And then
what happened to it?
Well, it, like you said, it was almost the same thing. I think it was 2014 or 2015. I think it might have been 2015, but one of the 2 years, they downsized it. They made it smaller. Okay. Mm-hmm. And they didn't have as many attendees, brewery-wise, and people coming in as well. It was smaller overall, not a lot smaller, but smaller nonetheless. And they called it the Microbrew Invitational. And what it was they invited. You couldn't just open it up. Hey, anybody want to, and then you registered and whatever. This was all invitation. They put out who they wanted to bring in for this, and of course you could say no, but anybody that was there was invited there, right? And that went on for a couple of years, and then that was gone. But the Extreme Beer Fest, they did same grouping. The Beer Advocate was the main promoter of it, and they were co-promoted with Sam Adams and Dogfish Head for the Extreme Beer Fest.
Mm-hmm.
And they did a few out on the West Coast. They did a few in San Francisco, but the main one was in February every year in Boston. And that went on for years, and that was a great festival, but the pandemic shut that down.
Oh, yeah.
And then they started doing the at-home beer fest, which became an online thing.
Yeah.
So where they got involved with halftime Beverage, which is a beverage distribution company, and you can order your Extreme Beer Fest box, which included 12 or 15 beers, all curated by
I don't remember how many it was.
I think it was 12. It was 12 or 15.
At least 12. Yeah, it was at least 12.
And it's curated by the promoters, by your beer advocate, and that, and then you'd buy it, and it was shipped to you, and then they'd have online an online beer fest, if you will, but it was like they would have, this the owner or brewer or whatever, this brewery, and then next would be this, and you took out the beer from that brewery and you drank it while they were on, right? And it went over the course of it was 2 nights, right?
They did it over 2 nights. John wouldn't remember because John got his box, and the night of the first session got very, very sick.
I had one of the biggest migraines I ever had. One where if I move, I'm like getting nauseous, and like no lights on, leave me alone, quiet, leave me alone until tomorrow, maybe, kind of thing. So I couldn't even pick up the phone and call anybody and let them know I wasn't coming on.
So Gene, who commented earlier, Brian, a bunch of us, we had all agreed to do the festival together. So we had the festival. We all had we had like a laptop and a computer. We had the festival up on one monitor, and we were on a mass Zoom call on the other one. So we're all watching the festival, but also all commenting with each other about the festival. And it's funny because they take questions from the audience, and two of us got our questions up. And the best part about it is I sent the question to the owner of Carton Brewing. We'll say his name once. We can't say it 3 times.
Right.
And it was Augie Carton, and I know Augie well, and so I entered entered the question as the beer samurai. So when they pulled the question up, he did a very good job of mostly controlling his facial expression. There was a slight eye roll, but then he answered the question. It was pretty funny, but we had a blast with it. It's a shame John couldn't join. We had been doing Zoom calls during the pandemic, a whole bunch of us prior to that, and that probably got us all through the beginning of the pandemic. Mm-hmm. But that was really neat because it was like yours, an online beer festival, and the beer got shipped to us all. We're all drinking the same beer. We all had got to listen to the brewer talk about the beer, how it came about. It was very, very cool, and it was hosted. And Sam Calagione was the one interviewing the
don't say his name again.
The brewers, all of the brewers, including that one. So that was a blast.
What's interesting? I know that every state has their own laws with what you can mail. So that I know that has been a barrier to, I guess, nationwide adoption.
It's interesting. You have to have a license to be able to do it in Jersey. For a while there, you couldn't at all. But some companies do. Like right now, Untapp's online service can't go into New Jersey.
But they did not register with Jersey yet. I'm sure they will eventually, but they do not. In Jersey, we get halftime, we get beer drop. Of course, we get Tavour.
Yeah.
I was going to say, unfortunately, we get Tavour. No, very fortunately, we get Tavour. But unfortunately for my bank account.
For my wallet, yeah.
But in any event, so I'm drinking my second beer. It is by a small brewery out of Red Bank, New Jersey. It's called
Thalassophile.
It's called Thalassophile.
This may go down in history as one of the most mispronounced beers.
Oh, it definitely will. That was the idea.
Yeah.
Right. No, Thalassophile.
Say that with a list.
Yeah.
You got to do a commercial and get Mike Tyson to hawk it for you.
There you go.
Wait, Thalassophile.
Done. I'm writing that down. Jimmy, get on that. Thalassophile is a Greek word that means I love the sea or lover of the sea. And if you look at the bottom of every can, you know what? There's a little more beer in here. I'll show you after I pour the rest in my glass because it's going to go all over me if I don't.
That would have been good TV.
That would have been great TV. But in any event, cheers. That's the beer. Pretty beer.
Cheers.
Mark,
missing the whole thing. That different, similar color there.
Yeah, pretty much. There you go.
But yeah,
this I was going to say this is a rotating hop series for Coastal. It's a this inaugural one is Ruaka and Strata. So it's got citrus notes, it's got tropical notes, it's got a little berry, a little bit of herbal, grassy
Just
finish,
one berry,
a little bit
just
dank,
one
berry.
little berry,
a little bit of berry, yeah.
One little berry.
But yeah, it's fantastic. This will be a rotating hop, so the next one I'll have 2 different hops on it. And I don't know if I don't know if I'm able to divulge the next 2 hops just yet.
Yeah,
I mean I can, because I mean I can make that call myself, but I don't know if I should. I'll tell both of you afterwards. How's that?
Well, I already know. You already told me. What you should do is you should have like contests where people can then announce name your next 2 hops.
It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad
That'd
idea.
Be kind of cool.
Yeah.
We could do it on the show and have a random guest.
Have a random guest announce the announcement. That's not a bad idea. We can work on that. We already have the next 2 planned, and then so the one after that we'll work on. I don't hate that idea. I like that idea. So anyway, okay, you were saying, Kat. I'm sorry.
Because our guests tend to know a little bit about beer.
Usually, you'd think they do. Yes,
Yeah.
Pretty much every single one of our guests have known a little bit about beer. So.
Pretty much every single one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Boonville, I was thinking, this is, the experience of streaming it was fun. The person I was with, it wasn't like just going around at a beer fest like you normally do. It's kind of a different experience when you're streaming it, right? You have people possibly watching, and it's a different experience. And I think it's a different experience to have that online.
100%.
And I think what I see, instead of online or in person, I kind of see them doing a little bit of both. I see brewers still having their in-person events for whoever can get there. They're smaller, but I also see the benefit of them going live, right? You have that option. You're getting paid for that option, and you say GABF, right? You have a big enough following, you're just going to monetize your content,
right?
Yeah,
that's 100%. I think I think what you're doing is a brilliant idea, and I think that there's a lot of people that need that too, and there's certainly a lot of people that maybe they've gone to beer fests in the past and they're kind of beer fested out. Okay.
Sometimes. I get there.
Well, yeah, no, yeah. I mean, let's put it this way. There's plenty of us that went to I'm picking a number. Let's say 20 beer fests a year, right? And those people maybe they could do 2 now, right?
Right.
That doesn't mean they don't like drinking beer. That doesn't mean they don't love craft beer as they always used to. But they're beer fested out. They're like, I've been there. I've done that. These are my favorites. I'll go to them. If there's something new that pops up that is a can't miss, maybe I'll consider going to that too. But having these online things, between the beer drops, beer by mail, Tavor, halftime, and being able, there's just so much good liquid out there now. Just go into any good quality package store, and pick up a few, especially ones that do singles and that. Pick up a few beers. Join the beer fest online, and you're still participating. You're still, it's kind of almost the way I look at our show every Tuesday night, right? Not exactly that, but people can. There are people we know. There are people that plan their Tuesday nights. For the most part, some Tuesday nights they don't, right? But for the most part, they plan their Tuesday nights around this show. It's 6:30.
I know I do.
I do, right? But they'll have a couple of beers and they'll sit back with their computer, and it's time for the log room guys, right? Or it's after dinner, or maybe
because before
dinner.
Tuesday night, we're giving them an excuse to drink.
We're giving them an excuse to drink on a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday.
There you go. So there you go. But
the other thing with the remote ones, though, is also that interaction with brewers that you probably would not have had the chance to interact with,
right?
Unless you really have traveled to a far destination brew fest. Because let's face it, the reason I went from 5, 6, 10 brew fests a year down to 2 is I know all the brewers now. I've had all their beer. There's not a lot to really bring me there at this point, other than interact with them, or if I'm pouring for somebody. That's always fun. I love it.
Right.
So that's why.
Or it's a beer fest, or it's a beer fest. Here's the other thing too, Dave. It's a beer fest in an area that you're going to vacate. You're going on a vacation, right?
Yes.
And somewhere that you haven't been or you haven't been that often.
That's always
and there's a beer fest going on there that's bringing in breweries from that area that you haven't ever had, or haven't had many of them. Yeah, you're 100% going to that. I'm jumping in there. So there's a lot of that. Is there a hurricane over there?
I can go inside.
No, it's fine.
No, it's fine.
We love the view. It's fine. It was just...
I've done the show in worst weather.
Hey, yes.
I need to plug in soon anyway.
Yes, it's Dave has actually done the show in a tornado before.
Well, very close to a tornado. It was a microburst.
It was a microburst. Yeah.
I was on top of a roof in Rhode Island, and we had in the building I lived in, and we did have. Oh, I think she's frozen.
It's not that cold out there.
It's supposed to be warm out there, right?
I know.
Hope it warms up a little bit for when we get there. But I was on the roof, and we had. She went and froze again.
No, she's fine. She's just walking in. She's just missing the signal. She'll sit down. She'll be fine. She's probably hearing you. So
there we go. But we had pretty much lawn furniture up on the roof, made of wicker, and I was sheltering under one of the tables. And this is before we were straight video, and we were only audio. And while I was sheltering under the table, a microburst hit the top of the roof, picked that table up, threw it across the roof and off the building.
Within minutes of him standing up from the table and leaving.
No, I was sheltered under the table.
Whoa.
I was under the table. I hadn't left.
That's right. That's right. You were
under the table.
Oh, that's right. Because we had finished doing the video teaser, and this was just the audio. Which is why we kick ourselves that we hadn't gone to straight video at that point, because that would have been an amazing show.
But after the table went bye, I said to John, like, I need to go inside. We need to end the show. Yeah, we're getting a little dangerous out here.
We got one comment from Stephen Nancaro.
Hey,
Steve, how are you, Steve? He says, I love going to beer festivals, especially with someone who has never gone before. 100%.
That's a great point.
That is a great point.
You okay, Kat?
Yes.
Okay.
I was plugging in my laptop.
There you go. That is 100% a great point, Steve. Yeah. Definitely love doing that. Steve, those of you who don't know, Steve is of the Let's Talk Craft Beer fame for all the states. To which
so if you belong to a Let's Talk Craft Beer, whatever state you're in, Steve's the man who put all of that together, started it all up. Yeah, he's known Steve for a while. Good guy. Great guy.
He's been on the show. He's a great guy. And you're going to have Steve, if you belong to one of those groups, you're going to have Steve as an admin for that group. And if you're fortunate enough, you might have one of either of us as the admin for the
group. John and I are admins of a few of them.
So, but thanks, Steve. Cheers. Thank you. Thanks for
and Steve's the one who got us to get Tony Drury on the show, and
Steve got us to get Tony Drury on the show,
and that's been a lot of fun.
That's been a lot of fun. Tony was Tony just actually messaged me a little while ago, so we got to get him back on. He has.
We got to figure out what that maniac's up to.
Exactly. Steve said, "Cheers." Absolutely. Okay, yeah. So, like I was saying, I think it's a win-win for everybody for what you're doing, and anything such as that. And would love to. We definitely want to talk to you too. We want to do anything we can to help the effort in the future going forward. Whether it's anything you do ancillary to the actual, Beer Day, Worldwide Beer Fest that you every year in April or March or April, whenever it is, and then of course too as well.
A bi-coastal beer fest.
Mm-hmm.
On National Beer Day. Not a bad.
We could definitely spark up some brewers and some people that are hey, we have a lot of common friends too, right? This industry, as big as it is very small. We all know each other. There's a lot of people that we have in common. You can meet somebody, Yeah, I mean, we've known each other for a bit now, but not forever, and we have plenty of people in common. You know,
well, we could do it like they do the New Year's Rocking Eve, where they do the hit all the time zones, and keep bouncing back and forth. So
exactly.
We could definitely throw something together and get this expanded.
New Beers Rocking Eve.
Oh, now you're talking.
There we go.
That's that's exactly what I picture. I don't picture as Worldwide Beer Fest an event. It's more like a series of events that we put on, or that we help people put on. Help people who are already doing events, help them kind of bring it online. And
that's an awesome thing. I love it. Let me just show this before I forget. Philosophy, like I said, lover of the sea, or anybody that loves the sea. Here's the bottom of the can. Can you read it? Let me hold it a little bit steady.
No, it's a little. I love the sea.
There you go.
6/4/24.
And the bottom is
Ruaka Strata.
Yeah, Ruaka and Strata. There you go.
Will you hear the ocean if you hold it up to your ear?
Take your headphones.
No, I just hear Dave right now.
We're trying to reach you about your car's warranty.
No. Hey.
Actually, I just got one of those letters, as a matter of fact. The funny thing is,
now, hold on.
I don't own a car.
Talking about my student loan. What the hell is that?
My child went to college.
Oh, I did. It wasn't a university then. It was just a college.
Yeah, they had a mutual understanding that he didn't believe.
No, it's the same place now as a university. When I went there, it was just a college.
I see.
Yeah, there was horses out front. Tumbleweeds rolling by.
I got my third beer open.
Tell us what that is, sir.
Predation Biology, and this is from Foreign Objects, and they've got such a lightly colored font there that my glow light's washing it out. This is a New American Hoppy Ale coming in at 7.7%. Is that what I wrote? 7.8. I thought it.
You sent me 7.7, sir.
Okay, it's 7.8, by the way.
Hold on. We have the technology to adjust that.
This one's got a lot more orange to it than the last one. The last one was very much a.
Is that better?
That's better.
There you go.
Smells like cheese. Why does it smell like cheese?
Smells like cheese. I don't think that's the beer you're smelling.
Oh, that might be the pizza margarita.
There you go. Yeah.
It tastes like cheese. No, this is like, okay. The previous beer is interfering with this. I'll let you know what this tastes like when I get about halfway through it, because right now I'm smelling and tasting cheese, which is one of the weirdest interferences from one beer to the other.
You know what? I've had beer that tasted like cheese before, and you know which beer I'm talking about.
Well, one of my favorite beers does taste like cheese, and that's Lichtenheiner's. I love Lichtenheiner's.
Right, I love Lichtenheiner's too, and I'm not talking about that though. I'm talking about a beer that wasn't supposed to necessarily taste like cheese, however, did. But we won't say what brewery or.
Yeah, we're not going to go with that. Yeah,
but you know who I'm talking. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. But it, ironically, was a delicious beer, just
cheesy, kind of like us.
Well, worked right perfectly.
Yeah.
So what do you think the reason? Talk to me about that. What do you think the actual reason is that you're getting a cheese essence?
I don't know. There's obviously some interference between. Cheese is not going to come through hops interference from one hop to the other. You're not going to get that. Mm-hmm. And what I'm thinking is this has got a much different malt bill. So as that cheesy essence started to flow out a little bit, I got the taste of malts a bit. And I think it's really just the interference with the malts from the hops in the other one into the malts in this one.
Okay.
Because these malts have a nice graininess to it.
Mm-hmm.
What have either of you guys had beers with hop extract?
Yep.
Do you know what that tastes like?
Yeah,
what does it taste like?
Used right, it tastes like hops.
Just hops.
You can't tell that it's extract.
If you use them right, you can't. You really can't tell.
As a matter of fact, the first beer that John drank, 2 Ton, was the first beer, the first hop oil IPA I ever had was by 2 Ton Brewing. at a bar, Poor Henry's. They're closed now, and it's a little more intense. But you can back that off if you get your ratios proper.
Right. It's obviously not going to be a 1-to-1, whole cone hops versus pellet hops versus hop oils and extracts. It's there's a sliding scale there. But if you get the balance correctly, it's just all it's doing is allowing you to use an extract or an oil, if you will, as opposed to pounds and pounds and pounds of hops. So using it correctly. Now I've had a few that weren't, and I don't want to, and I'm not downplaying like calling the brewery, and I'm not even calling out any breweries by any means, but calling any particular brewery bad or anything like that. They still taste delicious, but you can tell that there's a certain mouthfeel, a little bit of accentuated maybe alpha acids, or depending on what the hop is, right? It's going to be a little bit. It's going to be a little more upfront. If it's not used enough, if there's not enough of it, it just tastes like a weakly hopped beer. So it's not. It's just.
And the thing is, if you've had your share of IPAs, and you've had your dry hopped IPAs, and you've had your traditionally hopped IPAs, you'll be able to feel the difference. Not necessarily taste the difference. You'll feel the difference. You're going to know this is a hop oil beer. But you've had to have had quite a lot of IPAs for that to really just stand out. Go, whoa, okay, this one's different. It's got the flavor, but there's a slightly different feel to it.
Yeah.
But they're all. Hey, look, the things that can happen today with hops. I'm going to turn off the call right now so everybody knows what beer you're drinking, Dave.
Yes, it's the cheese beer from
the cheese beer from New York.
I'm still getting cheese.
Maybe it's in the beer.
Maybe
it's not cheese, but maybe it's just your palate, and that particular flavor is creating a cheese-like essence for you. I'm spitballing here.
I'm not hating it, because you know how much I love cheese. I love stinky cheese. Absolutely love stinky.
Well, if you love Lichtenheiners, you can.
Lichtenheiners.
I want to have a good Lichtenheiner with a good piece of Gorgonzola. Is what I want to do.
How about go more traditional. Go Lichtenheiner with a straight up a Limburger.
Oh, Limburger. Well, you know what? That's pushing it. Limburger's pushing it. Gorgonzola.
Hey, if you want to get something close to a Limburger, go get the Jean-Louis from Bobolink Dairy. That is
love Bobolink Dairy.
Oh God, I love Bobolink Dairy. As a matter of fact, Carrie and I are going to a birthday party this weekend. If we weren't, we're going to be at the fermentation celebration up in New Paltz. Bobolink Dairy is going to be there, and they're going to be presenting. And if you ever get the Bobolink, John, get the Bartolino. The Bartolino has got it's funky, but it's a wine funk. It's almost wine must. Yeah, it's nice. Probably my favorite cheese on earth, and it's made in Jersey, which should shock the hell out of a lot of people. Not that
I've had plenty of good cheese made in Jersey.
Yeah,
most of it is mozzarella.
Yes, well, there's a reason for that. We got a lot of Italianos here, but
by the way, did you know? I just found this out today. Quick, makes just on that note alone. And now, granted, I just saw this online, so it's one of those things where online. Oh, it was on the internet, so it must be true, kind of thing. But it was kind of a reliable source, all right? The highest concentration. All right, what two states would you think have the highest concentration of Italians in them?
Italian Americans.
Italian Americans. What two states?
New York.
I wouldn't say.
What you said? You said New York. New York, and what?
Let's see.
I personally would have, if somebody asked me straight out of the gate, I would have said New York and New Jersey.
Yeah. Okay.
My guess would be New Jersey and Rhode Island.
New Jersey and Rhode Island. It's actually Connecticut is number 1 and Rhode Island is number 2.
I know Rhode Island's up there.
New York is number 3, and New York is number 3. Massachusetts is number 4. New Jersey's number 5.
Really?
Or I gotta relook at that. Either that or switch New York and New Jersey. Maybe New Jersey's number 3, Massachusetts is number 4, and Rhode Island and
We've got a
New York's number 5. But
we probably have one of the highest Indian American populations.
yeah. Well, I'm not saying it for any
but I'm just saying that's probably why there's a difference.
Well,
we're not as high as most people.
Right. I'm saying it for a reason, though. I understand what you're saying, but I'm not saying it for any demographics reason. I'm saying it for the fact that New York and New Jersey are whichever direction are 3 and 5, right?
Right.
Whichever direction.
They're not 1 and 2 as most people would think.
1 and 2. They're not 1 and 2 as most people would think. The best pizza you're going to get, and we all agree, are in New York and New Jersey, right?
Yep.
Now, there's good pizza everywhere. Don't get me wrong.
No, not in Rhode Island. No.
Hold on. There's good pizza everywhere. There's good pizza everywhere. Somewhere there's good pizza everywhere. There's good pizza. I'm sure, Kat, somewhere out in the Pacific Northwest, there's good pizza. Right? Okay. But for the most part, stereotypically speaking, the best pizza is the best pizza in America you would say in New York and New Jersey. And you might even say Connecticut, because there's a couple of places in Connecticut that have fantastic pizza. Frank's up in New Haven.
New Haven, because American style pizza was invented in New Haven.
In New Haven, right? Of course, right. So, but I know Dave has said for over and over and over again that he did not, when he lived in Rhode Island for a year, he did not like any pizza that he had in Rhode Island.
That's not true. There were exceptions.
Thank you.
There are exceptions. However, I judge pizza by a plain slice.
Okay, fair enough.
Getting a good plain slice in Rhode Island, not possible.
So if that's the case, it proves to me, my whole point in saying this, it proves to me that it's not the people there that make the pizza or the technique or the quality of craftsmanship or chefsmanship, if you will.
It's the ingredients.
And it's not the ingredients either, because
no, it is. It's absolutely the ingredients.
Hold on.
The ingredients. I know you're going to go with the whole water thing.
No. Everybody can get the same ingredients. You can get and I'm not saying they do. I'm just saying they have the ability to get the same ingredients everywhere. They can get the same cheese. They can get the same sauce. They can get the same dough. They can get the same toppings, the exact same toppings, the exact same ingredients as New York or New Jersey or Connecticut or wherever. They can't get the same water.
I knew you're going to go with the water.
Has to be the water.
I agree with you when it comes to bagels. The water is very important for the crust, and I've had damn good crust in Rhode Island. What I've not had is good pizza sauce, because they omit oregano.
That's just wrong.
Exactly, which is wrong. And I don't get good mozzarella because there's no salt in it.
That's wrong.
And that's why
it doesn't have to be heavily salted. It needs to be salted.
But it needs to be salted. Yeah. And those two things and a good crust is what makes a great pizza. But I've had great crust in Rhode Island, but the rest of it not good.
Fair enough. I've had decent pizza in Rhode Island. I've had bad pizza in Rhode Island, but I've had decent pizza in Rhode Island.
I've had pizza.
And fair enough, I've had bad pizza in New Jersey, to be quite honest with you. There are.
Yeah, this is true. There are
some not like everywhere you go, it doesn't matter. You're hitting a home run, right?
You're not going to.
But for the most part, the law of averages would say that that's not the case. But anyway, off of the pizza topic, I just wanted to bring that up. I forget why I jumped on that.
I don't even know where we got there, but this beer now has turned to peach. We've gone from cheese to peach. Peach and...
well, it's actually two things I say. How you feeling? Cheesy. How you feeling? Peachy.
Yeah, so, there you go.
Here is me.
I'm still getting some cheese in the nose, though.
Cheesy peach.
Cheesy peach.
Cheesy peach.
There happened to be today, in town, and there was a brewery that I hadn't been to yet, because I'm kind of in an area that I'm not usually in. So I said, hey, let's stop there. So me and my friend, we stopped there, and I ordered a taster tray. And then I asked for a taste of the pale ale. And I taste the pale ale, and it just something tastes like...
off in it?
It's not right, like musky. I said, this isn't right. That's weird. And And then, start with the Helles, really nice and bright, tastes like it's supposed to. Maybe a little floral. Then I hit the second one, the first one, it's another Pilsner and that weird flavor again. And I was trying to figure out, what is it? What hop is that? Or maybe is it a hop extract in there or something? It was just weird.
Did I derail your entire conversation, and that's where you're going before when you asked us if we had a
No. I was just thinking about that because sometimes it makes you wonder: is this just one specific hop that doesn't sit right with me, or could this be the hop extract that I don't like? I don't know.
That's very possible.
It's possible, sure.
It's just like people in cilantro, right? Some people love cilantro. Some people taste soap. I taste soap when it comes.
I like cilantro. He tastes soap.
I get soap.
I love cardamom. He does not.
I'm not a big fan of cardamom.
Because it's the same family as.
But there's one hop that I don't particularly like, which throws soap for me, and that's Galaxy. Galaxy, I could always tell when there's Galaxy in a beer. Like, well, I'm just getting soap. That must be Galaxy. Mm-hmm. So I really don't know what's really going on with this beer. I think I've had enough of it to wash out the previous beer. I'm like, but now I'm getting peach and cheese. More peach than cheese now.
Peach and cheese. I love that. I'm intrigued now. I need to go find a what you call it? It's predation biology, right?
Yeah, predation.
Predation, right?
Do you think there's any lactose in there?
No, I don't think so. Lactose. I can usually pick out lactose immediately.
Yep.
You can feel lactose. Like a hop oil, you can feel it.
Where did you buy that beer at the brewery, or did you buy it in Jersey?
No, I bought it at the brewery.
You bought it at the brewery. Okay. All right, fair enough. I asked for a reason.
Because we know when the beer was brewed. And they're very well known for their lactose use. And they're also known for put it this way, one time someone took a picture of a pallet of Skittles sitting in a brewery, posted up and said,
I don't know who that was.
And everybody nailed which brewery it was. You could take a picture of a pallet of Twinkies, and everyone in Jersey is going to know which brewery that's.
All right. And we're not even going to say where it is. Those of you that are habitual watchers of the show or long time
chime in and tell us.
You know where it is, but we're not going to say it right now, and that's fine. But make no mistake, we love them.
We do love them,
but this is
they have their way.
Brother and sisterhood. There's a lot of
they have their way about them.
Right, everybody does. Right, so there you go.
Yeah, but going to Bend was cool. I remember this one fun moment. I got to meet my friend Marty Nachel. By the way, he's starting a.
You met Marty went out there. He was out there.
Marty went out there. He was the one that suggested I come out there. He wanted to meet.
Oh, beautiful. Nice.
So he's starting a project, a nonprofit called the American Craft Beer Hall of Fame.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
That?
So cool.
Yeah. So I'm doing I did the logo for that, the branding, and I'm working on the website for that for him.
Oh, nice.
So I'll be the website admin, but I don't really have any other role in that. So that's part of the reason I went was to meet up with Marty and show him around Bend. He'd never been to Bend, so that was pretty fun.
Well, there you go.
With Marty, because he's so experienced with beer, it's like you definitely.
That's an understatement. That's
yeah.
So, that's like saying Dave's so experienced in cheese and peach.
Yeah.
Being cheesy and not so peachy all the time.
Not so peachy all the time.
Definitely always cheesy.
Always cheesy, right?
I remember when I went to interview Marty, I was doing some searching on him looking for images, and I think it was ChatGPT that said there are very few people in the world that know more about beer than Marty Nachel. I was like, wow, that's impressive. He's an outsized reputation, he's just been
his reputation precedes him, and he's been there forever. And that's look. Here's the thing: I love speaking with people that have been in the industry as long as Marty has, and as long as John Starodomski has, and you and I have, but not
as deeply.
Not as deeply as, you know, of in the last maybe 15, 18 years, yes, but they've been doing what we've been doing in the last 20 years for the last 35 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, there's people in the industry older than us. I like that. Do you
not much,
John? Do you do that
but
thing?
older nonetheless.
Do you do the thing that I do, where you sit in a brewery, you get your beer, you sit down, you take your first 3 sips, and then you look around and see if you're the oldest person in the brewery or not?
I do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I definitely do that.
Yeah.
And I mean, for the most part, most of the time, I am. Yesterday at the brewery, I was up there when I finished. I was up there. I stayed for a little while, talked to a few people. This particular person stopped by with her entire family. Hold on.
I think I know who you're going to show here. I was wrong, but I know who that is.
There you go.
And that is our friend from Alt Ending.
Zoe, right?
That would be Zoe.
Formerly of Carton.
I thought you were talking about old. Zoe's not old. I thought you were
Zoe's not
show
old.
somebody
Zoe's younger than one of my daughters, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
But in any event, but she walked in there with Ed. So it's like, finally, yes, I'm younger than somebody here.
Are you going to give Ed? Are you going to give Ed a title?
At some point, yeah.
So, Ed is a gentleman, using the term loosely. He's usually mostly well behaved.
He's always well behaved.
He's always,
all right, all right. Usually, always
well behaved. Usually, always well behaved.
Usually, always well behaved.
I'll give you that. He is a Monmouth County craft brewery institution.
He's an institution. Yeah.
And
or he's in one. I don't know, one or the other. I'm not
he should maybe should be in one. But all the breweries that he frequents give him names like Commander, Captain, Admiral. They usually tend to be nautical.
Yeah, well, that may fit for anyone with us, right? So
yeah, so we have to figure out one for him.
We'll have to. Well, he walked in on Sunday. He walked in on Sunday by him. He walked in on Sunday by himself, and we're sitting at the bar. We're standing there. We're having a meeting, and he walked in during business hours, wearing this coastal shirt.
Very good.
Walked right in wearing it. So I'm like, there he is. There he is. Right.
Yeah.
But anyway, so no, you're right though, 100%. And I thought about it, and I'm like, with all the partners in this entire production of what we're doing with these breweries and everything else, I thought about who was the oldest in the brewery.
The oldest in your brewery?
Yes.
That's not Jim?
No.
You're older than Jim.
I'm older than Jim.
Then you're the oldest in the.
I'm the oldest in the brewery.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because if it's not Jim, then you're the oldest. I know that everybody else involved.
I'm the old man in the brewery. There you go.
That's why John likes it when I show up, because
he's older than me. There you go.
I'm 376 days older than him.
So there you go.
And it's funny because my brother is 376 days older than me,
and it works out that way. See how that works? Anyway.
Yeah, that's another reason to, I guess, capture what you can. I guess I feel like video could be, with some of these video interviews that I've conducted, and there's just this whole generation of brewers, and they're retiring or passing on, and I feel like this is like a real opportunity to capture some of their stories before they're gone from us.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I feel that, because John and I have both lost parents, and it's one of those things where you're thinking like, oh, what was that place in here? I'll just ask oh no, mom's gone. And all these stories get lost, and so yeah, capturing them, memorializing them, for eternity. That's really cool. So, and it's funny. I'm glad you put it that way, because it almost makes it seem like what John and I do every Tuesday night's almost respectable. It has meaning.
There's good intentions behind it. That's all we need to say. All right.
Well, maybe the intentions weren't great, but at least the results work out fine.
6-1. Right,
yeah. What do you got to do?
But
in 20 years, people are going to look at this and, you are a pioneers, like you're doing something that other people aren't doing. You're bringing beer into the future. It may not seem like it, but you really are.
well, I'm glad you said that, and I'm
Also, I'm a time traveler.
Well, Dave, you haven't fired up the DeLorean yet. So
Does that happen after the fifth beer or the sixth beer?
Well, the thing is, I keep going on
seven.
I keep going on that auto parts site, and the flux capacitor is out of stock.
It's always out of stock.
O'Reilly, seriously, if you go on to O'Reilly Auto Parts,
I'm going to pull it up right now. Just tell her about it, and I'll pull it up. Okay.
And you search flux capacitor on O'Reilly Auto Parts, it comes up, but it's always out of stock. They haven't had it in stock in about 3,225 years. I think they used the last one.
3,225 years.
Because I think they've been around that long, but flux capacitor will help with something like that.
Interesting.
Have you found it, John?
I'll be there in a second.
I used to have the part number memorized.
What does it do?
The flux capacitor was the thing that they plugged into that DeLorean in Back to the Future that allowed the DeLorean to go through time.
Here we go. So O'Reilly Auto Parts, right? You see it right there?
Yeah.
There's the flux capacitor, and it says this item is not available for purchase.
It says again. So
it's hysterical. I love Easter eggs like that on websites. I absolutely love Easter eggs like that on websites.
One of my friends, he said, the Tesla truck looks like the DeLorean mated with a Lego. So
that's not wrong.
You know what? Oh my God! Yes, 100%. Oh, pat him on the back for me, because that is 100% right.
I think one of my
or her. I don't know, but you said one of your friends. Was it
one of my favorite videos? Was watching a Ford 150 winch one of those trucks out of mud.
Wow.
Oh, I just saw a video the other day, and we're not going here, right? But I just got to tell you this. I saw a video the other day. A guy with a Tesla was broken down on the side of the road. And this was not staged. This was an actual video. He was broken down on the side of the road, and somebody passed him, and he asked him for if he had any, if he can get him some, can he take him to get gas? He says, "What do you need gas for?" And he opened up the trunk, and he's got a gas powered generator in there to charge his car.
Oh no!
Well, you do know that the Tesla road rescue team, the trucks that go out to charge them,
right?
They're gas powered.
They're gas powered. They're gas powered trucks. They're gas powered trucks. Whatever. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even going there. It doesn't matter, right? It's just, but that particular gentleman, my point is, he didn't want to tow his car so bad that he actually, owning an electric car, bought a gas powered generator to charge it whenever it broke down.
Oh, geez. So I just got an email.
Yep.
Cheers, your order has shipped from Devore.
I'm
like, what order? Oh, what was I doing?
Hold on.
What did I order? Now I'm curious.
I try not to shop after I've been drinking, because then
that's the problem.
There you go, right there. Hello.
When did yours ship?
Hey, read it.
Yours is shipping on June 20th, huh?
No. It's headed to your delivery service. Approximate arrival between the 20th and 27th. So,
what is in my crate?
It'll come faster. So, I have 17 beers in mine, and the only reason that it shipped already was because I forgot to extend it another week.
I've only got 7 shipped.
Mine has 17 cans in it. I try to get up to 24 cans, so I just extend it a week by week, and once I get to 24 cans, then I let it ship. But I forgot to extend it. It's always a Monday. I forgot to extend it yesterday.
I've got some rare barrels in here in Anchorage Brewing, some Vale, Ale Song. Nice. I've got 3 rare barrels. Map of the Sun, Passionate from Miles Away, and High Up There from 2021.
This particular crate has nothing but lagers, ESBs, Tomave Pivos.
Thank God you didn't order this in December because you wouldn't have gotten it until February.
All Crispies. That's it. But I do have one waitlist item. It's the Three Rise Men barley wine from Rubens.
The rye barley wine, right?
The rye barley wine from Rubens, yeah. So that's on a wait list. So on a wait list for that. So obviously there'll be another crate after this one. So.
Yeah. So see, I've got the same thing here.
Headed to your delivery service. Same thing, 20 to 27.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see who gets their crate.
It's a race.
Now. It's a race. You know they're coming from the same place.
Yeah.
And the same place is closer to you than it is to me. So let's see who gets.
I'm curious, does Tabor deliver to all U.S. states?
I can't speak to that, and I'd love to get somebody from Tabor on the show and ask some of these questions, and a lot of others too, by the way. But I don't know if they deliver to all states, but my train of thought would say if they deliver to New Jersey, it's quite possible they deliver to all U.S.
Okay.
Very possible.
I see. It's California, Colorado, Connecticut, D.C., Florida. So not all of them, but
There you go.
Oregon, Washington, Wisconsin. So I guess that's another thing that, is the limit of those take-home beer festivals.
Well, I don't. Right, and that's the thing too. I don't think that it's necessarily. I mean, there may be a state or two that doesn't allow it, right? But for the most part, most states will allow it. They just have to register and pay the registration with those states. So if they want to do business in those states, they have to actually go out and physically register it. So my guess would be if they have a lot of mail or email saying, hey, we want to buy your beer, we want to be involved, we live in this state, you don't serve to this state. If they reach a threshold that says, okay, yeah, well, we have a lot of people that want the beer in the state, let's go register with that state. That would be my guess, but.
So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 20, about 30 states.
More than half. That's great. There you go.
Yeah.
John, you got your third beer in your hand.
I got my third beer in my hand, and I'm almost done with it. I just forgot to put it up. It's you had it last week. It's the Schwartz. It's the Schwartz. May the Schwartz be with you.
That's a delicious beer.
Oh my God, I'm loving this beer. I got to be honest with you. This wasn't on tap at the brewery, or maybe no, was it? It was. It was on tap at the brewery. This can. I either not remembering how good it was that day, or maybe it was the 3 brats that I had there that interfered with the flavor of it.
Only 3.
Only 3. But it's fantastic, and I'm glad I do have. It was a 6-pack. I gave you one. I was a glutton. I kept 2 cans for myself. I did.
Now, remember last week what I said about this beer? There was kind of that Guinness squid ink kind of flavor that I was getting from it. Are you getting the same thing? That kind of Guinness. That's the only way I can describe it. It's squid ink. It's not squid ink.
You know what? Now that you say it, it's not squid ink. No, it's not squid ink.
It's not squid ink. It's just a Guinness quality.
There's a Guinness quality to it. Yes, I will give you that. It's on the Schwartz beer side of things. It's certainly not a milk stout.
Right.
But
yeah. Guinness is an Irish stout. Guinness is not a milk stout.
An Irish milk. It's mother's milk, Irish stout, whatever you want to call it.
It's a dry Irish stout, but there's that one quality that Guinness has that I love.
You know what? It's a dry Irish stout, but I wouldn't call it too dry.
It's not all that dry.
It's not all that dry.
But there's neither is Ireland in many, many ways.
Well, that's for certain.
Yeah. But no, there's that one kind of quality, and I can't really capture it in words that Guinness has, and that Schwartz beer kind of has that same quality to it.
Yeah, it's really tasty. I'm enjoying this so much. I'm glad I kept 2 of the 6 cans. I'll enjoy that other one. I'll enjoy this other one night with a cigar out back with a couple others.
Well, hopefully it'll make it to Jersey because we do get Fun Trop here.
We do get Von Trapp here. They do.
So
They do ship it.
hopefully
If it does, I'll grab another 6 of this. That's for certain.
Yeah.
This will be something that I'll grab. Thank you, Kat, for that message. It's the Tavor ships to it looks like about 30. So if your state is listed, get ready for Friday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time when a limited amount of barrel-aged Grackle and farm stuff bottles go on sale at Tavor. Grackle. Yeah.
So Grackle are those little black birds that kind of have that oil slick coloration to them. That's a Grackle. That's a neat name for a brewery.
Yes, it is.
Interesting.
There you go.
I got to stay off Tavor.
I need to take a break. Unfortunately, I'm going to have another crate because I have that wait list, right? So
can you see this? These are still bottles waiting to get into the fridge and be drank.
You can't see under here. You
No.
can't see back over there.
Oh,
You can't see over there, and you can't see downstairs.
I've got over there as well. Underneath all the spirits, there's a whole bunch of stuff under
I have
there as
way
well.
too many bottles.
And then
Way
I got stuff in the kitchen. Now, granted, neither one of us match what Altschul has got put aside.
You guys
And
might have a bottle share.
we try to every now.
We do. Here's the problem, right? Any of us that have a bottle share, right? Everybody brings so many bottles to the bottle share that the host of the bottle share that was hoping to get rid of a bunch of his bottles
Winds
gets
up
rid
more
of
than
one
we
or
did.
two,
Yeah,
and that's it. Because you drink everybody else's bottles that they brought,
and then they leave stuff that never got opened,
and then they leave
more
stuff that never
bottles.
get open, and they're yours, and then you're right. So I plan on at some point having a bottle share, and my only what's the word I'm looking for?
Stipulation.
Stipulation. Thank you. I was looking for another word, but that'll work. My only prerequisite.
Rule?
I was looking for a prerequisite. My only prerequisite is that you don't bring any beer. Just come here and drink my beer.
That's not a bottle share. You are hosting
No.
a bottle opening.
It's still about I'm sharing my bottles with you.
Actually, you know what you can call it?
What's that?
A culling.
A culling.
A culling.
A culling. Yeah,
You can make a calling to the culling.
that'll work.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. That'll work. We need to do that. I think we all need to do that.
A
I think I
bottle
need to do
of
that. Brian needs to do that. You need to do that. Matt certainly needs to do
It
that.
certainly does. Well, here's the whole thing. Doing it here would be a major problem because parking in this city sucks.
Well, we'll just all park in Hoboken and light rail to your.
There you go. Just park at James's place and
We'll park by. Yeah,
and then just have James drive you.
I'll take the light rail. And,
So, Kat, how do you get a lot of bottle shares out that area?
how are bottle shares out that way?
I don't really go to bottle shares, but I see beer nerds having them.
Okay.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
So it's prevalent out there.
That's
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, we have bottle shares. But at the end of the craft beer awards, there was 2 extra of everything, everything that was opened. And so at the end of this thing, there just must be hundreds of bottles and cans, and they just used to go for it.
That's not called a bottle share. That's a free for all.
That's a free
It was
for all.
incredible.
You know what? I love bottle shares. I love the camaraderie. I love the getting together. I love the social aspect of it. I love everything about it, right? And it's not just about the getting rid of some beers or whatever, and enjoying them too, right? Because it's not just about the getting rid of them. It's about I'm not drinking this bottle by myself. I need to open it at a bottle share, but I want some of it soon, so I need to have a bottle share, right? So there's that aspect of it too. But the thing I love the best about certain particular bottle shares is the bottle shares that occur at beer fests. I'm bringing us back around to beer fests. At beer fests, when there's 2 sessions in one day with a 2-hour period in between
the two, yes.
And all the brewers don't leave. They order pizzas or sandwiches or whatever, and they order the lunch, and they all bring bottles, and you have this one big bottle share with all the brewers at a beer fest in between the 2 sessions, and it's just fantastic.
So anybody who's gone to a beer festival and gone to the second session wondering what the hell's wrong with these people, you just had your question answered.
There you go.
Yeah.
Or there's no bottle share involved, and it's just Adrian from Bolero.
Well, that's just true too.
Yeah, he's. I tell you, the first time I ever met Adrian from Bolero, they call him Bolero. He's a whack job, but him and I had a great time.
He calls him Brolero.
He calls himself Brulaire.
Other people do now, but
we do now. But the first time I met him, we were pouring together at the festival, and it wasn't so much us. Yes, we were pouring beers, but it was also a bit of it was a comedy show involved as well. We just immediately synced and played off each other. We have such a great time. I would love to pour with him again. We had way too much fun. We were telling people there was arsenic in their beer.
Lovely.
Well, it's Bolero Snort, and they said BS served here, so it's like right on their Easy Up. And so they're like, "There's arsenic in the beer." Of course, it's not arsenic in the beer. Then why'd you tell us? Did you not read the disclaimer on your way in? It says BS proudly served here. God, we were doing this thing where Adrian would he would hand them their beer. As he's handing the beer, he'd yell cheers as loud as he could, and they'd spill their beer all over themselves.
Oh no!
So I'd have to like stop pouring for the person and go, "Adrian, we've talked about this. He's new." But what we did is we wound up talking people into going out into the beer fest and just sneaking up on people and screaming cheers. And we're standing behind the taps looking out because we were like on the main square, and we're watching people do this to other people. And we were just so happy that we had just turned evil loose on the beer festival. It was we had so much fun. That was one of my favorite beer festivals poured with.
Gotta love it.
Making those alcohol monitors work harder that day.
Well, the best part about it is the later you get to a beer festival, the more you can abuse the people you're pouring for.
100%.
And you can get the different varieties of mean with them, and they still love it because they've had beer in them. They want more beer, and you're giving them beer. So you can, as long as it's funny, as long as it's not mean, as long as it's funny, it's so much fun just messing around with people.
And it's really hard to stand out. That's one thing I was talking about to people. People say, "Oh, what's the advantage of?" It's like, how can an online be better? It's like, well, you're going to get something that you're not going to get just wandering around a beer fest. You have a taste, and then you don't. That's all you're going to get sometimes. But the online engagement is much more compelling.
You know what? You're 100% right, and I'll say this. Now, there is obviously the interpersonal factor of when you do get to meet and talk to somebody, but that's few and far between. We all know that doesn't happen every day to everybody at a beer.
Correct.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's much more likely to happen more frequently on an online thing than it is in person, right? And that's just a fact of what it is. Because even if there are, after a certain point in the beer fest, even if there are, brewery employees or brewers or owners or whatever that do want to be there and communicate with them, at a certain point in the beer fest, nobody wants to talk to anybody. They're just drinking at that point. They're well beyond the point of of being able to have a conversation with someone.
I kind of disagree with that, but go ahead.
No.
I'll explain it later.
No. I don't mean everybody. I mean, for the most part, that's what it looks like. Anyway.
Oh, no, because there's those people that just go to a beer fest because, oh my God, I can drink as much as I want for $30.
That's what I'm talking about.
They just go there to get drunk. Yes.
Right. But in any event, to your point, I think it's definitely a compelling reason to have something online. And be able to have that connection, have that interaction, and have that engagement with the owner or the brewer, or anybody from the brewery at that point.
Yeah.
And it's a fantastic thing, and I think it's a brilliant idea, and I'm loving every minute of anybody that's doing that, especially what you're doing.
But here's the best part about it: you don't have to Uber. You're sitting at home. You can drink as much as you want. Not have to worry about it,
and then crawl into bed,
which is right over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can just fall right over there, and I'm going to do that because I just opened another beer, which I didn't tell John about. Kat, you're going to get to taste this. I'm going to send you one of these.
Overhead, Cane Brewing.
Cane Brewing. Good. This is an 8.2% beer. So this is the big brother to send you one of those as well. Head High and Carton Boat Beer are the two beers that pretty much changed the game in New Jersey. And Overhead is very similar to Head High, except it's got one different hop in it, and it's got a higher alcohol level. That one different hop that he threw in there because he couldn't put it into Head High because no one had it at the time was Simcoe. So he's put some Simcoe in this one. This is no cheese.
Well, then it's not your nose or your palate.
It may have been the beer.
There you go.
I look forward to trying that. It reminds me, I need to stop and get. I'm headed back through Oregon on Thursday, so I need to stop and get you some Benedictine Monkless and.
Ooh.
You just sparked our attention.
There you go. What? Yeah, no. Hey,
It's been a while since I've had this beer. I forgot how much I love this beer.
it's a good beer. That's a good beer. Overhead's a great beer.
Damn.
So you know what?
It's one of the best. Up until a couple of years ago, one of the best IPAs ever brewed in New Jersey. I haven't had Philosophical yet. I understand that puts. I've heard it puts gives Treehouse a run for its money from someone who knows a bit about beer.
You know what? I've and there's a few people that have said that, and I love the fact that that we're being mentioned in the same breath as Treehouse. But this beer, and I just had it. Okay, I really don't want to like pat myself on the back or pat Matt on the back or pat us on the back or
you don't need to pat Matt on the back. He can do that himself.
He has his arms long enough. But no, I don't mean to do that. But this beer is fantastic.
Wow, I've got to
this
try
came
that.
out so good.
Yummy.
And I mean, it really, really did. And I look forward to seeing. I know what we're doing. I know the next two hop editions we're doing, and I'm looking forward to trying both of those and seeing if they. Well, more on that on a later date. This is not a show about Coastal. This is a show about Cat.
Not this weekend, but next weekend. I think we're going to be taking the train down again.
I will be there,
but
or get there.
Monmouth Meats might be the option this time.
Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing to do. So I think it's time for
top threes.
I think it's time for the top threes.
Did you tell Kat?
I did not. So unless she looked at the post, I did not tell her. So
you're an awful host.
I am. So. Tonight's top three list is in honor of National Corn on the Cob Day. Since this is show 183, so after 183 shows, you kind of run low on beer-related top threes to talk about.
Because the thing is, we could have done the top three corn-flavored beers, but everyone would have Genesee
cream ale, Genesee cream, Jenny cream, Yingling Lager. And probably Yingling Pills or Yingling Premium, if you will.
Or almost any Climax beer.
There. But in any event, tonight's top three is top three favorite ways to prepare corn. Top three favorite ways to prepare corn. And Kat is moving.
Kat is mobile.
She just wanted to change locations. I thought she was going to the kitchen. I thought she was going to go to the kitchen to prepare corn. In a way that she wanted to do.
Do I get to go first?
You get to go first. Yeah. Go for it.
Oh, top three ways to prepare corn.
And you didn't tell her you're making her go. The poor girl.
Well, if you want a minute, Dave can go first. That's up to you.
Okay, I'll go.
Okay, go for it.
All right, I would say my top way is I just like to make like a corn salad. So black beans, pepper, little jalapeno.
Like a Southwest salad.
Yeah, they call it a cowboy candy or something like that.
So when you make this, does a bull jump into the kitchen and wreak havoc?
Got to have the music playing though.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay, so for those listening, we were talking about this before the show. What town was this in Oregon?
Sisters, Oregon.
There was a rodeo where a bull, during the singing of "Proud to Be an American," jumped the rail and just wreaked havoc in the audience. Interesting.
There you
Okay,
go.
so that's
Corn salad, black beans and peppers, and all. Yeah, that's number 3. Number 2.
I would say.
Or was that your number one, Kat?
Or was that number 1?
I think that was number 1.
Yeah,
That's
she
number
said
1.
that was
Okay,
her,
you're going one.
top.
You're going 1, 2, 3. Okay, no worries.
Yeah. Number 2, I would say is in chili.
Corn and chili.
Okay, I've had that.
I've never put corn and chili, but okay, yeah.
Works better in the vegetarian chili.
People yell at me for putting beans in chili, so.
Well, this will really piss them off.
Oh yeah. and John knows that there are times where I live to piss people off.
It's daily basis, actually, to be honest with you.
Almost daily. There's times I'm tired.
And then I would say number 3 is probably boiled or grilled. Standard preparation.
All right. Boiled or grilled. All right. Samurai?
And I had to do a lot of thinking about my third.
Mhm.
My third is really, I don't know, maybe this is stretching it a little bit. But they take corn, they turn it into masa, and tamales are one of my favorite things. So a tamale, that is mostly corn. That is corn masa. Love my tamales, especially when you've got the pork and the red sauce inside of that, and then that gets steamed in either banana leaves or whatever they're going to steam it in. Even corn husks, they'll do it in corn husks, and then you just the red sauce over. That's one way. Number 2 is shucking it, throwing it on the grill, straight over, turning, let it get just a little bit of blackened, turn black, turn a little bit of black, turn a little bit of black, pull that off. You don't need butter, you don't need salt. Right on the grill, there's nothing else that's needed from that. But my number 1 way to do it is it's a Mexican preparation of it, which is appropriate. It's called elote. And you boil it, you take it out, make sure you dry it off. You can either use crema or mayonnaise. Mayonnaise for me works a little better because it's more adherent. Spread a little mayonnaise on it. You roll it in cotija cheese. For me, it has to be cotija. Has to be that cotija cheese. And then it gets sprinkled with cayenne pepper. And there's no better way to eat corn, as far as I'm concerned. That to me is corn heaven, is elote.
There you go. All right, I will give you mine. My number 3 is same as Dave, grilled, but in the husk.
And John does it in the husk. Now, do you soak it first so the husk steams it, or do you leave it dry so it smokes it?
No need to soak it. There's enough moisture in the husk. Unless the corn is super old, then there's no point. Like this,
and there is no reason.
I'm not putting old corn on the grill. So there's always more. When I put corn on the grill, there's moisture in the husk. So
there should be no reason in New Jersey to ever have old corn.
Of course not. Right.
Every farm stand.
What I do do.
You said do.
What I do is I'll cut off the, like, if there's a big tail,
the stem.
I'll cut that, and I'll cut I'll rip off any leaves.
Actually, in corn, it would be called the stalk.
Stalk, right? I'll cut all that off, so it's all in the husk. It's still contained. I didn't open anything, but all the ancillary limbs of the corn are gone.
Now,
because you put that on a grill. Anybody that does that, they're burning, right?
Yeah.
There's flames coming up from the corn at that point.
But there's a lot of people that I know that will pull the husk before they do that. They pull the husk down, get rid of all the silk first. Mm-hmm. You leave the silk?
I leave the silk. Leave the silk because it steams. It steams so well. It grills it. There's some grill characteristics to it. But it steams it so well that when you do peel back the husk, the silk comes right off with it.
Okay.
There's nothing. There's no point in doing that. Because it's going to come right off.
It's just extra work.
It's extra work at that point. So why bother doing it? Put it right on, cut them, boom, put them on, turn them. When they're done, pull it off. It steams so well. It's so tender. It's got a grill characteristic to it because it's been sitting on the grill even what was in the husk, but it was still steamed. It's fantastic. I love it.
Nice.
That's number 3. Number 2, Number 2 is I love Mexican street corn.
But I love taste Mexican street corn, John.
Right. But I said street corn. You said elote.
This is true.
There you go.
I
But
use the proper name.
we joked about this before. I do love Mexican street corn, but I actually like it as well in a bowl as like almost like a salad, but a Mexican street corn salad, if you will.
So it's the corn in a dressing with the spices and the cheese.
Right.
And that when it's done well,
Mhm.
when it's done well, it's hard to find a place that does it well. But when they do it well, it rivals on the cob.
It does. Wow. It's fantastic. It's so good. And if they do it well, every single kernel is not separated. There's a lot of kernels in there that are like you're gonna get like a bunch of attached kernels, and so
it was a close shave on the cob.
Right. Close shave on the cob. There you go. I like that. But my number one way, in the oven, no grilla needed.
This is the Italian in John speaking right
there. You go. Shut the corn, cut it right, and then wrap it in foil. But before you wrap it in foil, slather butter all over it, and put in several fresh cloves of garlic in each corn ear, and wrap it up in foil and put it in the oven and cook it for a while, like 45 minutes more. And it's like garlic bread in corn form. It's so good.
Why you're not sprinkling oregano in there?
You could put oregano on it if you want,
or basil.
I honestly put a little bit more butter on it after it's done, and some garlic salt. Actually, okay. I have this thing. It's garlic, salt, and pepper. So it's salt, pepper, and garlic in one. I put that on it afterwards. Even though there's and make no mistake, while I'm eating it, I'm eating those cloves of garlic too. So.
Of course, hear me out here. Rather than wrap it in aluminum foil, why not wrap it in gabagool? You can. You can. That is a way. Kat, have you ever heard the term gabagool?
Have you ever heard of the Italian cold cut capicola?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what in this area we call gabagool.
There are certain Italian Americans some in Jersey, a lot in Brooklyn that pronounce
Staten Island, especially Staten Island,
and that pronounce capicola gabagool.
We don't know why.
I've known this fact since I was a very, very, very little kid, because I grew up. I'm half Italian, right? Mm-hmm. I have never said gabagool other than in conversation, referring to what people say it, how people say it. Okay. If I've even when I was a kid, if I've ever ordered it, I've said capicola. Yeah.
Here's the thing.
I might have strayed a little bit, say gabagola. It had a little bit of an accent to it, but never. I've never said without any Italian accent to it at all. I've never said in a full-on English accent or American accent gabagool.
And then here's the thing: if you go to Italy and say gabagool, they'll have no idea what you're talking about.
They have no idea what you're talking about.
So the thing in this area is a lot of the Italian foods are entirely said wrong here. Mozzarella, mozzarella. Mozzarella. We don't know where that came from. Italian, a true Italian would not know what the hell you're talking about.
No, here's the thing, though, and I will tell you this. All of those, and I'll use the term just for this particular show, bastardized, if you will, pronunciations of it, and there's a lot of good YouTube videos on it. Tony Sirico and Kelly.
The SNL skit.
Not the SNL skit.
Oh no, there's the SNL Brooklyn Spelling Bee.
There's no. That's not SNL. That was just a thing they did.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah, it was Kelly Ripa. Kelly Ripa and Tony Sirico. Paulie Walnuts on The Sopranos fame, right? But they did the Brooklyn Spelling Bee. But in any event, There's some on there that I even never heard when I was young.
Well, there's like scungil. So calamari in this area is pronounced galamad.
It's calamari. That's
Calamari.
you want to say calamari. But you say the C, you know. But for some reason they say a G. Galamad. Like GALAMAD. Galamad. It's calamari. So my point is that it got there. You can see the transition. You can see how it got to what it was, or how it got to what it is with some of it, right? But in any event, whatever. But it's hysterical. But like I said, I've heard them all, and yeah, it's just funny.
Cool.
But I'll send you the link to that. Or you could just go on YouTube and put in Brooklyn Spelling Bee, and you'll see it's Tony Sirico and Kelly Ripa. It's hysterical.
It's hilarious. It is hilarious.
So your number one corn preparation is corn with butter and garlic.
Corn with butter and garlic. Yep.
And I've challenged him to wrap it in gabagool rather than aluminum foil.
Wrap it in capicola. I don't know if I want to do that though. I don't know if I want the oils and the fats of the meat into the corn. I'm putting enough fat in there with the butter already.
So leave the butter out. Just garlic and gabagool.
Garlic and gabagool. I'll have to try that once just to do it and see what it does. You know, because the best thing would be that the oils and the fats from the capicola would penetrate the corn with the garlic and make it delicious. But then I have crispy capicola to eat.
Is there anything wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Now the thing is, do you use the sweet capicola?
Hot, 100%.
Okay. Because there's two types of capicola.
There's hot capicola and sweet capicola. There's hot supersat.
Supersat. Okay, so if you ever walk into an Italian deli in this area and you look at the counter and there's these dried sausages hanging above those are supersats.
Supersat.
Or in Italian, sopressata, because for some reason we all drop the last vowel.
Drop the last vowel, yeah. Sopressata. I actually, you know what I had for lunch today?
Did you have a prosciutto mortadella?
I did not. No. I had my sandwich, as they say in Jersey, as they say, right? Sandwich, yeah, sandwich. I had great Italian roll. I had mortadella with pistachios. With pistachios.
It's got to have the pistachios.
Got to have the pistachios.
So, Kat, do you know what mortadella is?
It's a meat, cured meat.
Yeah,
it's not really cured. It's more like
it's like bologna, but it's got little chunks of fat in it and pistachios. So it's got a different flavor to it than bologna does. It's got more of an Italian flavor to it than bologna does. But I've had mortadella, hot supersata, fresh mozzarella, and sautéed red roasted peppers with garlic.
Wow.
And that's my sandwich. And every time I order the sandwich, no matter where I get it, they ask me, "Do you want some balsamic or olive oil on it?" I'm like, "No."
I was going to ask, did you put balsamic on it?
No. The red roasted peppers, the sautéed red roasted peppers, are plenty of.
Especially if it's at a good place, because the red roasted peppers will have a lot of garlic.
Well, they're going to saute them in garlic and olive oil.
And basil. And
basil, right. So no need for, if you're putting sautéed red roasted peppers on it, there's no need for any other dressing.
Kat, is there a lot of Italian cuisine out there?
There's not really, not so much.
You got to come out here. You got
to take a trip. You got to come out this way. We'll hit up a bunch of breweries. We'll get you some. Yeah.
By the time you're done, you're gonna want to watch every Soprano episode. By the time
might have an accent.
And the thing is, John and I don't have the accents. We can put it on.
We can make them up.
Well,
we can.
We can seriously Italiano it up here. We can, John and I can both go straight up Guido.
Of course.
Yeah. You may not hear it, but I can hear your accents.
Well, we have accents to a point.
We have a Jersey.
But we're talking about the
there's that
accentuated accent. How's that?
Yeah, there's a very
an accent that we can put on that makes our regular voice sound. Oh, they're perfectly normal.
Let's hear it.
And not many people say
that.
I don't know what you're talking about. What the hell? I mean, I got the gabagool, and I got my sandwich, and I got.
I know a guy. You need something.
You know a guy? I got a guy. I got a guy.
I got a guy. Forget about it.
Did you take care of the thing? You know, the guy with the thing?
Oh, the guy with the thing. I know the guy with the thing.
Yeah.
But you know, he's over there.
Right.
I'm over here.
Right.
What are you talking about? You looking at me?
Yeah.
You looking at me?
You looking at me? What am I funny to you? Am I a clown? All right.
Yeah, no.
Is this
no.
Taxi Cab
Sorry. No, actually, we got into Goodfellas there for a minute. But.
Okay.
Yeah, he went to Goodfellas. He went straight up on Pesci there.
There you go.
I remember
Yeah.
there was a Godfella scene where he's talking to this mirror, or was it? Or
No,
was
that's
this-
actually
what's
Taxi
the movie
Driver. That's
Taxi
Taxi Driver.
Driver.
Taxi Driver.
That's Taxi Driver. And the best part about that scene is the script says, what was the character's name?
Oh crap.
What was De Niro's character's
crap!
name?
My God, it's right there on my.
It's Robert De Niro.
Right.
But the script says that character's name talks to himself in mirror. That's all the script says. De Niro ad-libbed that
The whole thing,
scene.
yeah.
There's
There's
a
a lot.
You're talking to me?
You me?
I don't see anybody else here. You must be talking to me.
There's a lot of ad libs in a lot of movies. A lot of movies that you didn't realize there was a lot of ad libs. Caddyshack.
Yeah.
Bill Murray when
The
he was
whole-
Cinderella story.
Yes,
Cinderella
yeah.
story.
He made the whole
Out of
thing.
nowhere, about to win the mastership. That whole thing, he ad libbed that entire thing.
The whole
He
scene
asked
was-
Harold Ramis for a line of a bunch of mums and give him a sickle. And he ad libbed the entire thing. None of that was written at all.
Actually, the best is in that same movie, the only scene between him and Chevy Chase, the
That was
whole
all-
thing's ad-libbed.
Ad libbed, yeah.
The whole thing. So I got that going for me.
So I got
That-
that going.
Oh, we've got a pond and a pool.
Pond
Pond
would be-
be better
Probably
better
good for you. Natural spring. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Pot of pool. Yeah. Anything would be good. Yeah.
But what are the
There's not much difference between Bill Murray's put on voice as Carl Spackler in
and his real life?
no.
Oh.
And Sylvester Stallone in Rocky.
Yeah, real.
There's
Yeah.
a little bit of a difference there.
But Ratso in Dustin Hoffman as Ratso in what's the name of that movie? Where he plays Ratso is, hey, I'm walking here. Can't you see I'm walking here?
Yeah, right.
That whole thing, him and Vaughn are walking through Manhattan, and this taxi runs a red light, almost hits Dustin Hoffman. This was not scripted. Dustin Hoffman hits the taxi, goes, I'm walking here. Can't you see I'm walking here? That's entirely unscripted.
wow.
They left that in the movie.
Travis Bickle, by the way, I just looked. I couldn't think of it as soon as
Travis
I saw it.
Bickle.
Like, Trickleback.
But the another famous one for the nerds in us in Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back. Leia looks at Han Solo as he's being put to the carbonite, which is "I love you."
He says, "I know."
He says, "I know." That was not the script. The script was "I love you too."
Mm-hmm.
Harrison Ford changed it to "I know,"
I know.
and it's become one of the most iconic. It's "I know you know." John.
Well, he said in an interview, he's like, he's not a guy that would say "I love you" too. He's a guy that would say, "Yeah, I know."
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's one of the most iconic phrases out of Star Wars. So there's so many things unscripted that just Jaws. We're going to need a bigger boat, not in the script.
Mm-hmm.
That was Schneider.
Yep. You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Because Schneider had not seen the
A shark yet?
and so when he sees the shark, that look on his face is like, what the hell have they done? So he just turns in, goes in, and we're going to need a bigger boat.
Yeah. I watched SNL recently, and there was this two of the guys, they had dressed them up, one as Beavis and one as
Oh my
Butthead.
God,
Like,
that's hilarious.
Great.
you remember that skit?
That's recent. That's what's his name? Ken from the Barbie movie.
It was Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Gosling?
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling's playing Beavis.
Davis, yeah.
So they didn't tell the person who was in the skit with. They didn't show her
Yeah,
what
the
he looked like
interviewer,
before
yeah.
She didn't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, she's hearing him, and when she finally turns around and sees him, she loses it.
Mm-hmm. I love stuff like that.
But the thing I love the most about that one is that the two of them, at like the next award show on the red carpet, showed up as Beavis and Butthead.
Butthead, right? Yeah.
And I love. Oh yeah, they did, and I love it when they take these. And I became a fan of Gosling's after that. That he's now extended that. It's like with Justin Timberlake when they did Dick in a Box.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
His next concert, he brings, what's the other guy's name?
Eddie Samberg.
Eddie Samberg. He brings Eddie Samberg out on stage, and they do Dick in a Box in a Justin Timberlake concert.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I loved it. I became a huge Justin Timberlake fan after that because he's not taking himself that seriously.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love things like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely love things like that.
I love seeing brewers making videos and reels and things like that. So I get excited about those sorts of things.
Oh yeah, when the brewers and the brewery owners are screwing around, almost sometimes at the risk of their own brand,
mm-hmm.
you've got to appreciate it. You have to love it.
You have to be at a certain level before whatever you're screwing around with doing can be appreciated on that level.
But here's the thing: can you, when you're not at a certain level?
And I don't mean a level up here. I just mean you can't be like brand new where nobody knows you and doing that.
But that's what I'm going to say is,
unless you do that well, unless
you do it so damn well,
unless you do it so damn well that it gets you from here. That alone gets you from here to up here. You know that.
Yeah, it's not like doing a commercial where everyone's climaxing. That's just, you know what I'm talking about, John.
Yes.
That was not a proud moment in New Jersey craft beer history.
Not 100% at all. Nope, that was horrible. That was
awfulness.
That was very bad. 100%. And let's never bring that up again.
Sounds like a story over a beer. We'll have to have.
We'll tell you at a different time.
Yes, that's not a.
So anyway, cool. All right. Wow. We've done some damage to the show. We were an hour and 53 minutes. We're coming up on.
We damaged the show.
We've done some damage with this show. Meaning we've gone
like irreparable damage.
No. Well, no, you and I've done that years ago. So
have we scarred people?
You and I've done that years ago.
No, this is true.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, Kat, what's coming up? What's on the horizon for currently for World?
Well, first, what's on the horizon for Kat?
What's on the horizon for Kat? Yeah, there you go. What's on the horizon for Kat first?
Well, so there is a software company named Arrived. Maybe you've heard of them.
Oh yeah.
Hoping to work with them doing some kind of sponsorship. As you know, I've been a full-time RVer since 2021. Mm-hmm. And I think it would be really great to partner with a technology company that is also in the business of providing technology solutions to brewers. I think they could be a good technology partner. So I'm working on a proposal for them to sponsor my next camper van. So nice. I've filmed a video to propose this, and we'll be editing that and sending that over to them. I have a contact there, and hoping that'll be fun because, then I'll be able to go a lot further than the West Coast because I'll have a more reliable rig.
Awesome. That's true. That's awesome.
Good luck with that. Yeah,
100%. Good luck with that.
Thank you.
Now what's next for Worldwide Beer Fest?
Well, we're actually in year 4, if you can believe it.
I can believe it. I mean,
yeah.
Wow, but yeah.
And that's not like year 4 of doing stuff. We're just year 4 of developing.
Sure.
Developing and seeing the need. And when I see news like people's canceling sessions at WWBF, I'm a little sad, but I'm also like a little bit inspired because it's every problem presents an opportunity. So that problem that is still not getting solved it's still a very compelling opportunity. And I think that I'm seeing more brewers making reels, and I'm just seeing that there is still a great opportunity here. And I encourage anyone that's putting on festivals to really start to embrace what the internet can do for you, because look at the alternative, and not just festivals but brewers too.
Sure.
They should be making reels. But what's next for Worldwide Beer Fest? Last year we did a series called Craft Tech Talks, and these free. So we're probably going to do that again this year, because I still see a lot of confusion about what we're trying to do. And I just feel like it's really important to keep telling people, hey, make content, monetize it. Here's how you monetize it. Keep people focused on what they can do, and that the fact that we all need to keep learning and growing and adapting, because even since I've done those seminars, Facebook has changed, right? All of this, the policies and the products and the opportunities, it's changing all the time. So I'm constantly having to update information and keep apprised of information. And so I think that's our next step. Our two biggest things right now is doing that information. And then, of course, National Beer Day, doing that every year. And I really think it's cool that you guys have offered to help. And what I envision for events, like any event in the future, is brewers sending us content, right? Send us videos, we'll stream it. Like you guys, they could send you guys videos. You get your OBS and you could stream it. So it's something that anyone can do. I just want to show people that it's possible, and that
and hold us to this.
And yes.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Well, if we don't reach out first, call us out.
Yeah, exactly. We'll do our best due diligence to make sure that we do. However, if we slip up and we slide by the wayside, make sure
we're old. We forget shit.
Yeah. Exactly.
No worries. Well, I'll send you another box of beer here from Oregon, so that you remember.
It's not even that we forget. It's time moves so fast for us now that things sneak up on us.
I mean, honestly, the last month and a half has been an insane blur.
I was gonna say, this January has gone by so fast.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
January.
Wait a second.
Christmas is next week. Right?
No, it's and that's why I've kind of I do take time after I do these things to kind of it's a very organic thing, and you can't really predict how these things are going to go. The most important thing is to try to fill a need, try to learn, and try to share that learning with other folks, and let it go from there, because I really feel like I feel like every business is like that, right? They start out with the goal, and then they kind of naturally evolve, and the product evolves to fit the changing needs of the market. And so I imagine that we'll always be adapting and changing and learning and hopefully improving.
Awesome. That's great. That's awesome.
So thank you.
Agility is a big portion of any business.
Yes, 100%. All right. So stick around. We're going to talk to you for a couple minutes before we actually close out. But we're going to close out the show first. On that note, we do want to wrap up the show for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.lagerroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Lager Room. Yes, Dave?
No, I burped. Sorry.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
No, that was just
actually
gas bubbling up.
Gas bubbling up. There you go.
And releasing.
There you go. Remember, we go live with video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Twitch every Tuesday night around 6:30 p.m. Eastern time for the most part, unless there's extenuating circumstances.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our audio host, Spreaker, as well as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, Audible, Google Podcast, Amazon Music Podcast, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, Castbox, Deezer, Podchaser, Listen Notes. Pretty much anywhere you can find audio podcasts, you will find the Log Room Guys.
I missed Stitcher.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, if you haven't done so already, please
it was just
subscribe.
part of his routine. It's not that I missed them.
It's gone. They closed. They closed
gone.
the shop. They're
Okay.
gone. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one more of
Rest in
those feeds,
peace.
and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Kat, thank you so much for coming on the show.
At a last-minute request. Actually.
Yes, absolutely. We will talk to you. We will talk to you in a couple minutes about that, but we will definitely have more involvement with what you're doing. We want to be involved. We'll talk to you about that in a second. But again, thank you so much for coming on, and we will talk to everybody.
And we've been meaning to have you on. We were full through months.
Mm-hmm.
We finally got like a gap in there. I was like,
right, so
we need to see if Kat can come on. Yeah,
we'll take care of that. But thank you for coming on. We'll talk to everybody soon. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly, and we'll talk to everybody next week, folks, where we will have Fiddlehead Brewing from Burlington, from Shelburne, Vermont. Yes, Shelburne.
Don't say Vermont. Her battery dies when you say.
Oh, that's right. When her battery dies.
Please don't say that. I'm looking forward to that one. I love it.
I'm looking forward to Fiddlehead. Yeah, that's gonna be a good show. Anyway, all right, folks. We'll talk to you next week. Take care. Cheers.
Cheers.